a lot of times when people are not paying attention to how much they're spending, almost all of us fall into a trap of getting into debt. Is all debt bad? Should we focus on just being debt free for the rest of our lives? Is that the right path to go? Is there nuance in terms of how we go into debt, or are there certain decisions we can make that make the debt somewhat justified?
That's a great question. So you have to think about debt as a tool. It's a tool to help you achieve certain goals. Individuals have debt, take out loans. Businesses have debt, take out loans. Businesses take out loans from banks. Businesses take out loans in corporate bonds from consumers. There's a whole market of debt, right? So debt can be used well, responsibly, and it's a tool to help you achieve your financial goals. Debt can also be a vice. And so it's important to understand what's good debt and bad debt, and when you can handle debt and when you can't. And so just to elaborate on all that for a moment. So a mortgage is good debt, right? If it's a house that you can afford, and it's not about how much money the mortgage company will give you, because that doesn't necessarily mean that you can afford all of that.
Right.
Right. And that's maybe a conversation for another day. But it's about you figuring out whether the payment of that mortgage fits within your expenses and that you won't be cash flow negative by taking on that mortgage. Student loan debt can be good debt. Credit card debt, in my opinion, is always bad debt, often because it has a higher interest rate associated with it. And I know there are balance transfers, but they're time limited, and the minimum payments, they've had updates to what minimum payments they require you to make, but you're still never going to pay it off in time for those within those balance transfer windows. And it gets out of control, right? The credit card debt can get out of control. Credit card debt, in my opinion, is like that vice. So somebody who enjoys a cocktail here or there and can say, you know what? I've had a drink, I've had two, I'm good, I need to walk away. It's like with credit cards. If you can't walk away and know when you need to stop, then credit cards aren't a good fit for you. So if you're a chronic overspender, if you aren't aware of how much you put on your credit cards and how much you have in order to pay them off, maybe it's not a good fit for you. I know a lot of people who've had to move away from credit cards and are just debit card people. And sometimes you can go back, right? Sometimes you just need a reset. I use credit cards every day. I use them responsibly. I pay them off in full every month. And so it's a matter of knowing how to use the tool and not letting it become a vice.
Gotcha. One of the previous videos that I released, I was talking about dumb decisions I've made buying cars. And the first thing that I talked about was I bought a car without telling my wife.
That'll
Which,
do it.
I don't recommend that.
That'll do it. That'll get you stabbed in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it was. She was great about it, but good. I would never ever do that again.
I know your wife, and she's very nice, and I know that she is a good woman.
she's a saint. I tell you, she really is. That purchase was kind of a wake up call for me, because we had been talking about getting our act together from a financial standpoint. We knew that we weren't being particularly disciplined in how we were spending money. We weren't spending our money and allocating our income in a way that was going to set us up for long-term success. Our 4th anniversary, we went to Las Vegas, had a wonderful time, but we put the entire vacation on a credit card. And it took us a year to pay off our anniversary trip. It was our next anniversary before the trip was paid off. That's normal for a lot of people. A lot of people kind of live like that. But we knew that we wanted to be able to create a future for our children and didn't want to work the rest of our lives. And I knew that we weren't where we needed to be from a retirement standpoint and the type of goals that I wanted in retirement. So we actually decided to start Financial Peace, going through the baby steps. And so for disclaimer for those who may have seen the thumbnail here and say that I hate Dave Ramsey, I've actually gone through the course, and I can tell you that over a 2-year period, we paid off everything we owed except for her student loans and our house. We got completely rid of our credit cards. I literally closed the accounts. I cut the credit cards up and I put them in a bowl with water and put them in the microwave. I was hardcore in it. And that was one of the best things that could have ever happened to us, because we decided to get intentional about pointing our money in the directions that we wanted to go in our lives. And so what you're saying about credit card debt, totally agree. It's not smart to pay interest on credit card debt or to put something on a credit card that you can't afford to pay for, within the statement period. But over time, as we started to learn and my financial literacy increased, we started to want to travel more. And I said, hey, well, I'll get a credit card that's a hotel-based credit card, and we'll put our regular monthly expenses on here, and I'll just pay it off every month, and we'll just get our hotel points that way. We started that 2 years ago, and I've never paid a penny of interest. I opened 2 credit cards. I never paid a penny of interest on either of those credit cards, but because I was being intentional about what was going on those cards, and along the way, we had to make some decisions about things that we weren't going to charge anymore, because there were certain items in our budget that we were overspending on, groceries. So look, we can't put groceries on the credit card anymore, because that's the category that we're most likely to overspend on. And that puts us at risk of paying credit card interest. So we had to start cutting back and changing and switching out what we were using the credit card on. So these are just personal decisions I made for my family. But to your point, it's because we have learned that we can use debt as a tool to accomplish positive things, and it no longer is a vice for us. So it's a good tool for us to use to reap certain benefits.
I would also like to, that's all fantastic. And I'm thrilled for you that you were able to make that change in your life. Not everybody can do that. Not everyone can kind of get away from those vices and get over those challenges. So that's huge. I would like to draw your attention, though, to some of the language that you used.
Okay.
You are a very disciplined person, and you talk a lot about, discipline and waste. Mm-hmm. And for a lot of the folks who are going to be watching this, discipline is a struggle. And for a lot of our clients, it's about making sure that all the bases are covered so that you get a little bit of relief in feeling like you don't have to watch absolutely every single penny, right? Having a fund left over at the end of the month that allows you to, splurge a little bit here or there. To your point of, saving up to go on a vacation and not putting it on a credit card. There are so many people in this country that live loan to loan, whether it's credit card, 401k loan, payday loans. One of the things that I've learned, and you probably have too, is that to a certain degree, saving is a little bit addictive.
Yeah. It can be.
And once you start doing it, once you start realizing that you have control of your own destiny, and you never want to go back there, right? You never want to get another payday loan. You never want to have to take money out of a 401k to go on vacation, or put it all in a credit card and pay it off later. You did the diet. You took an unhealthy lifestyle with fast food and Cheetos, and you said, you know what? I'm going to start eating vegetables, and I'm going to start, going on long walks, and then maybe exercising, and I'm going to increase my health. And instead of physical health, it was financial health. And you took little steps with a coach, right? A coaching program to help you make those choices. And yeah, you're going to slip up along the way. But I think it's important for everybody out there to understand that it doesn't require constant vigilance and discipline to achieve these goals, right? There's a happy medium of understanding and being real with yourself about what your tendencies are, what your strengths and weaknesses are, and knowing what you can and can't handle, and figuring out a plan that works for you.